How's it going, man?
So, man, apparently your 25th birthday just came up, right?
Oh yeah, about a week ago. Hit the big O 2-5.
How is that feeling being a 25?
It's changed me quite a bit, now that I'm in my mid-20s. I don't know if that counts as the mid-20s, I think so. I want to take things more seriously, I'm no longer in my early 20s, can't really be playing around. So I've been changing my mindset on a lot of things like financial wise, educational wise, and career wise with my time in the military.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
How, how about you?
I
Aren't
mean,
you coming up to the 25 too?
oh dude, next week, next week is my
Nice.
25th birthday. Luckily though, it's not gonna feel like the dawning of 25 because I'm gonna be in San Diego with some of my friends and we'll be partying, so I'm not gonna feel the effects of it yet. But it'll definitely set in as days go on. Like, oh shit, I'm 5 years from the big 3-0. Ugh. Which brings us to today's
That's
episode. Episode, as you can tell, is our semi-reflection about how we've changed so far and how we might have a somewhat midlife crisis, maybe. Because some of the things, at least for me, that I've looked back on, have changed dramatically, like almost night and day difference. And some of them stayed the same, which is cool. But I know you, right, Martin? A lot of things have changed, like specifically our taste, right?
yeah. So like before, you know, it's like for my food when I would eat, I was really into just fast food or just like microwave dinners because I'm in the military, so often we don't have a whole lot of time to eat. But now that I'm getting older, or not necessarily older, but now that I'm hit 25, I'm starting to cook for myself more. I'm prioritizing, cooking for myself rather than eating out at restaurants or just going to the local Burger King or Popeyes on base for a quick lunch because I find more enjoyment in cooking meals for myself now. Like I'm not a good cook. I'm nowhere near as, Gordon Ramsay. I'm nowhere in his league, but I'm just happy that I'm just cooking for myself, that I'm actually trying to make a change in my diet and health.
Right. And like, yeah, same for me, because especially before, even as a teenager, it was just like, oh, I want the sweet things. Only the things. Nothing savory, nothing this. And sure, I would eat like some veggies and stuff, but like, it was that weird old preparation where it's like, you want some strawberries? Here's some extra sugar on top, because that's how you get the kids to eat strawberries, and it just sticks with you. But
Exactly.
now it's like, sweets are alright, but like, it's very I can't have them a lot, or I don't want to have them a lot because I feel kind of weird afterwards. Like my body is like, probably shouldn't have had that, and I'm not sure if it's kind of sad thinking about it, but like it's just kind of the body saying, "Hey, probably stop with the super junk foods full of sweet," right?
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, I still eat junk food or like fast food from time to time, but now it's more like I'm putting a cap on it and I'm actually like eating more healthier food. Like I'm having more salads, drinking more water because I'm just trying to balance myself. Because last thing I want is just to be sluggish on the flight line.
Oh, that sounds dangerous,
Yeah.
very dangerous.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I'm not gonna say this has happened to me, but I've had a few nights back at my old base where I'll be driving in the middle of the night and close my eyes, wake up, I'm like, holy shit,
could have
I'm behind
died.
the wheel.
You could have literally died.
Yeah.
Would you consider? Well, I know it's fast food, but would you consider chicken nuggets junk food?
Kind of like a yes and no. So like yes in the sense that it's coming from McDonald's, but no, because it does count technically as protein.
It's
It
still
is chicken.
yeah,
And you
it's
could just
protein.
take off the crust,
I mean, that's kind of
you
weird, but
know.
yeah, you could. So that's why I'm saying that's like the most I've had for quote unquote junk food for a while. The other things are like, oh, it's junk food, but like it's gonna sound really pretentious, but like whole wheat chips, basically. And not even like those super deep fried chips, like baked chips. So it's slightly different, but it's still, I guess, junk food at the end of the day. But that's not like
I'm the
most of my
same too.
things. Yeah, it's just not most of my
Yeah.
diet.
Or like when I buy like potato chips or just regular chips, sometimes I'll just look for the non-flavored ones, like the Cheetos or the hot Cheetos. I'll look for the ones that are like they say, sea salts or baked or like non-GMO,
Right.
gluten-free. That especially with bread too. You know, like I bought this bread that's like gluten-free, non-GMO, more organic, and
How do you
it's
have?
good.
Hold on. How do you have bread that isn't gluten?
It's that's what it says, gluten-free. I had to double check, but it's very like I don't know how to describe it. It's very stiff, so like it can crumble easily.
Oh, okay. It might be made with
But
something that isn't wheat. I don't know. Uh, I think like with those though, like I would eat fries. Oh, dude, I love fries. But the thing is, I bake my own fries. Like I'll just take the potato, scrub it so there's no like dust or anything on it or dirt. Chop it up, toss it with olive oil, sea salt. For me, since I do like spicy food now, I will hit it with so much paprika that it's red, and then put it in the oven for like an hour. And
my sweet goodness.
that's what I usually do for my type of potatoes or my type of like fries. Cause sure you can get the ones at McDonald's or the grocery store, but I'm like, there's something better about making it yourself with all food, where it's just like, yeah, I could buy this somewhere else, but I'm like, I made this. This is something I made with my own hands, so it's inherently
Exactly.
better.
hmm
Like,
I'm the same too. Like when I cook my beef,
yeah,
I like to add just chopped up carrots or potato to it, just to give it that more flavor and with some good onion powder.
ooh, right, that's the good ones right there. If you like even spicy food even a little bit, I would just put some paprika on your veggies because it's a game changer.
I'm weird like that, dude. When I eat my vegetables, especially the salad, I
Yeah.
use no dressing, no vinegar, none of that stuff. I remember people always call me out on it
Oh, you're a
because whenever I see other people eat salads, they always add that stuff. For me, I can't do it. It just ruins the taste for me. At most,
really.
I'll have my salad with some like shredded cheese and black beans. That's it.
Oh, so you're a going dry type of dude.
Yeah, that's my game.
Oh, I gotta make sure you understand that joke later. Um, but like with cooking food, that's what I normally type would do. And all right, this can sound really like boomer-esque, but for my meals I prepared for the week. It it felt good to make it and just kind of put it in like Tupperware and put it in the fridge because I'm like, oh, one, I don't have to spend time making the meals anymore, and two, I accomplished something. I made my meals for the week. Sounds very like old
Exactly.
school, but like it's cool.
I-
And
I'm the same too. I meal prep.
true. But for me though, it's a lot easier to do one like my meal press for the week because also for people who don't know and still don't know because we haven't done an origin story of who we are, which is hilarious now I think about it. But for those who don't know, I eat once a day, so like my meal prep is super easy because it's like, oh, this portion is for Monday and this portion is for that. Or I can take a whole Tupperware container, divide it in like four, and be like, all right, this section is for tomorrow, this section is for the next day. And I'll be fine. So meal prep and that type of budgeting and allocating food is super easy because I eat
Must
once
be
a day.
nice.
Um,
Yeah, I eat 3 times.
it's getting harder because I'm at a point where there's not enough to burn. So my body's like, "Hey, we're running out of reserves." Because before I could literally eat one day, like one time, and be completely fine. No stomach, no like hunger pains at all. Now it's like, well, we're starting to run low. You may want to replenish those stores. I'm like, no, think I'm good. But then the hunger pains. But
I
even
mean,
then, like
yeah, I did.
cooking, but like I guess that also builds it enhances why I like cooking so much because like sure you can eat the food and be fine, but that smell of cooking food really just gets you motivated to do it in the first place. And that's why I guess like eating once a day really builds up that desire to like, oh, I can cook now, and it's like, oh wow, it feels more fulfilling, more of an experience than like say I guess normally cooking 3 times a day. Personally, maybe I don't know how you feel about
I
that.
I can't cook 3 times a day. I cannot fit that into my schedule. So for me, I do like what you said. I just do meal prep. Though every 3 to 4 day, I mean every third or fourth day, I'll just cook for myself. I'll cook my breakfast, my dinner. Not really my lunch. Lunch, I just get it from the local cafeteria. That's how I do it because most days when I come home from work, I just don't have the energy to do anything.
Right.
So having a meal cooked and ready to go just makes things easier. And especially now I have like a stove, an air fryer. Actually, now that I actually have a kitchen rather than just like a rice cooker and a electrical skillet in my dorm, I can cook more. I can
Right.
cook more food at once. I can have more space. I have a bigger fridge. So I'm upping up you know, my cooking game. I'm gonna start trying to take it more serious, start experimenting, and it's a learning process. It's I'm
No,
still learning.
it definitely is. Oh, and speaking of
Yeah.
cooking appliances, dude, back when I was like a teenager or like a kid, I was like, oh, it's a blender, who cares? Oh, microwave, who cares? But now I'm like, yo, I was like browsing online and I saw like Target was having like a huge sale on like air fryers and like Instant Pots. I was like, I need these. I need like I capital H or capital H, capital NEED need those air fryers because it'd be a game changer. And it's so weird, like stepping back and think about that. It's like, man, if my teenager self could hear me getting excited over a sale for fucking air fryers, I feel like my teenager self would be super disappointed. Like, really? That's what you're very interested in? These fucking cooking appliances? And it's like, yeah, these are really cool and they're really fun to have, and they make cooking so much better.
Yes. My parents, they sent me in like an air fryer for Christmas.
Right.
And a few years ago, if they sent me that, I just would have left in the box, never opened it. But as soon as I got that, I was like, I gotta bust this thing open and start using it. And
Exactly.
let me tell you what, man, it makes cooking a whole lot easier. Like on days when I want to cook, but I don't want to, do too much cooking, I'll just pop some chicken in there, turn it on, and just wait. And
Exactly.
I don't know how, but baked chicken tastes better than, cooking it on the skillet.
Well, yeah, that's to be sure, definitely. Baked chicken is just so much juicier and tender, but while still having that
Hmm.
crispy outside.
Oh, yes.
And that's
And,
why I prefer
less of a
baked
mess.
chicken. That too. But oh, and speaking of which, there's these other type of appliances I want. One is an electric kettle, so you don't have to like turn on a gas stove or like heat up your water for something in the microwave. You can literally just pour it in this kettle, put it on its base, you set go, and by the time you need it, it's boiling water ready for you. And it's like, that's so handy. I want this. You can use it for tea or coffee or what, well, I guess instant coffee if you're going that route. And
And drink coffee.
oh, dude, and another thing for coffee maker is like, not a coffee maker like a Keurig. I'm talking like this thing. It's basically a big jar with like this cylinder that you can pour your coffee grounds in it, and it makes cold brew coffee. Basically, well, it's a container for cold brew coffee. You put it in, you put it in the fridge. Next day, hey, you got a whole jug of cold brew coffee, and it's great because cold brew coffee is so much better than hot coffee, in my opinion, because it's not as acidic and it's very smooth to the point where like you don't need like creamer or sugar in it. You just drink it straight from the cold brew jar. And oh, I
Drink
need that because
cold coffee, yeah.
cold coffee is really good. But I need that because I don't know about, I guess just me in general. I need it because if I don't, I will just crash because I guess don't get enough sleep or something. And it's like I need coffee to function. Like the most adults think a thing you can say is like, "Oh yeah, I'm on my third cup of coffee because I'm an adult and I don't get enough sleep." Am I right, fellow adults? And it's just one of those things
Not
where you're
me.
growing up and it's just like, "Wow, that's where I'm at, huh?"
I had a brief moment of, where I was a coffee person. It was back when I was in tech school. We had to wake up early, go to school, had to actually pay attention. So I was like, holy crap, I need a game changer, and coffee was the game changer. It kept me up, kept me steady. I was not trying to fail tech school and get kicked out or
R-
washed back.
Right.
So I was doing anything and everything I could, and coffee it did help me, but now I am still not a coffee person. Very rarely will I drink coffee, let alone any caffeine products. Like I don't even drink energy drinks like Red Bull, Bang, any of that stuff I don't mess with.
I had
Maybe
Monster
once in a while.
once. Yeah. I had an energy drink once. It was Monster. Tastes like battery acid, and I can feel my heart pounding. Not really the best.
I know this one dude who drank like 3 Red Bulls a day, and at my
Some.
old shop,
Yeah.
things have changed for him.
Well, yeah.
He, whew, I'm sure you can assume.
I'm not sure about 3, but I know it was either Monster or Red Bull was the drink of choice for a lot of theater people, and I don't know why that was, but there was a good chance if you scan the room of like a theater cast, they're gonna have either a Monster or a Red Bull, and it's weird to me. I guess because we don't get a lot of sleep and we have to do a lot of stuff. I guess, but it was just one of those things. I was never one of those because instead I was one of the persons who had a large Americano at 6 p.m. because that's when rehearsals were and that's when the fun happens.
I remember when I worked nights at my first base,
Yeah.
literally my entire shift, they would be drinking nothing but energy drinks. I was that one dude just drinking a Pepsi. I'm like, yeah, this is all I need.
You sound like back then I saw this video about I think it was either Apple or Microsoft in the early days with the programmers in their college dorms. Since they didn't really have coffee, they would just drink liters and liters of like Coke and Pepsi and listen to hard rock music. And I'm like, I wonder what happened if you gave those kids, or I say kids, those adults in that time period, like our version of coffee. What would have they made? What could have they made? I meant to say. Probably like a supercomputer, right?
Oh yeah, like
Because if they can
a
make
computer.
Microsoft or Apple on just Coke and music, imagine what they could do with just straight up shots of pure caffeine.
Coca-Cola, okay? Not the Coke people are probably thinking about.
I feel like no one would thought about that until you brought it up, but I'm pretty sure
Oh
that was a
yeah.
factor as well.
A hidden factor, in the back room, nobody was watching.
And about hidden, but yeah. But but back to like growing up, just there's a lot of things that have changed. Like I remember, especially you and me, when we were like teens, we would just like go to random adventures and not knowing how to get back, and we're just like, we'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just to walk outside at like 9 or something, and be like, we're fine. Or like go on adventures to who knows where, especially once you had a car, and we went to random places at night. Because
Yes, I remember like just trying different restaurants or just seeing what was out there in the outside world, man.
Yeah, because we were just like, yeah, it's fine, we'll be fine. But like, even now, it's like, hey, I'd be fine going out with friends at like 10, but like, I need to know where we're going. Not like, hey, we're just gonna drive around and see what's up. You want to go? I'm like, hell yeah. Now I would be like, where are we going? Because I don't want to get stabbed in the nighttime.
Exactly. Same thing here in Korea. Every time we go out, I want to make sure we have a way back because there was actually one time where we went out, for drinks with the boys. We ate quite a bit, drank quite a bit, and we missed our train stop.
Oh
So
no.
when we got off at the wrong stop. The trains were already shutting down. And keep in mind, we were all pretty shit faced.
Yeah.
So we were stuck in a random city and had no idea how to get back to base. So literally, we just imagined like 10 dudes running around trying to find a taxi or trying to find their own way to back home. We were calling our coworkers, to pick us up, but nobody knew where we were.
Oh no.
So after that, I'm like, yeah, I'm not trying to repeat that. So either I don't drink too much or I just make sure, we have a way back home.
Right. Just it's always those moments when you're with friends and it's just like, we're lost. It's like, oh yeah, we are. Just happens randomly.
Especially yeah, yeah, especially in a foreign country. Changes things. You know, you can't read the signs. You can't communicate with the locals.
Yeah, that is a problem. I mean, you have Google Maps though, right?
No, I think you need to use a different like a Google Maps alternative.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't really I'm not the one that plans out the routes on how to get to and back to base.
right. I mean, that's
Or
fair.
yeah.
That makes sense. But oh, that so a little behind the scenes. We have like lists here to like keep us relatively on track. And I just saw one that reminded me like it just said anime question mark and it's like that reminded me that's right. When you were a teen, like when I because for those who don't know, Anime Martin was not an anime person until I, or not me, but me and someone else essentially collectively got him into anime and then I dropped off. But that's right. You used to watch so many episodes per day, didn't you? Or not per day, but per week.
Yes. No, like literally per day, dude.
Per
You're actually
day?
right on the money. So I got into anime in my senior year of high school.
Right.
They, and it was by accident, you know. One of our friends in the group, he just made a post about this one anime. I looked it up for some reason. It was a Friday night, I remember, and I just binged that entire series. And at that time, I didn't know it was anime. I was
Really?
like, what is this? I need more of it. So I just started asking around, and people told me, oh, yeah, dude, it's anime. I was like, what's that? Oh, it's, you know, it's animation from Japan. It's really cool. And after that, you know, never went back, dude. I remember, like, after we graduated from high school, I had a period of time before I went to college where every day I just watched anime. You know, I would wake up, watch like 6 to 8 episodes, do my own thing, come back later at night, watch another 6 to 8 episodes. I was finishing those 12 to 13 episode seasons, like maybe 4 or 5 a week,
Oh my
because I had
god.
nothing else to do. That's how
Yeah.
bad it was. Because, you know, I was no longer in high school, I wasn't in college yet, so I had a lot more free time.
Right. I mean, I I think the most I ever did when I was like super addicted to anime was like a series a week, and that's about it. I could never get to the point where it's like I'm gonna watch 6 episodes of different animes, right? Not just one series of 3 series or more per week for you, right?
Well, so the way I did it was I would watch 4 to 5 shows at once. So like the 12 or 13 episodes, sometimes the 26ers.
Oh
But I
god.
would do like, all right, 2 episodes from each series. So I would watch, you know, 4 animes at once, but only 2 episodes a day. And
Right.
then Sundays I would start on another series or wrap up.
Yeah. That's still way more
But
than like I believe me and probably most of our friend group would ever get to. Like
yep,
remember back when we were like teens, we would watch like episodes of anime at your place. That was the rate I normally watched anime. That like 1 or 2 episodes, maybe 3 per day, and that was it.
that's how
Like
you got
of a
me into
single series.
Overlord and
It was a good anime.
Seven Deadly Sins.
Yeah, I remember those. That being said, you could not convince me to watch them now because I just don't. I think I got burned out on it because like I was so addicted, not to the point where you were at, but like enough where I was like, you know what, I'm good. I've seen all the tropes. I'm gonna dip out. And to be fair, now I'm the same, but with games. I'm just like I'm more of a gamer than a watcher, I guess. That
For
I mean, I
me
guess that has
now,
changed.
yeah, for me now, my anime viewing has changed. Like, if I'm being honest, maybe I'll watch 1 or 2 episodes a week at best. Mainly because, you know, things have changed. It's not like before where I had nothing to do.
Right.
You know, now that I'm actually, you know, in the military, working 8 hour shifts, you know, trying to cook for myself, work out, be more active, especially exploring Korea, I have less time, you know, to just sit down and watch anime, which I prefer, you know, because I just want to see, I want to be more active.
Right. no shade to those who do. It's just it's not my thing, and it's not Martin's thing anymore.
Yeah. Like
It's,
I'm probably gonna start stepping away from anime slowly.
I mean, I think you reached the point where I did, where I'm just like, I'm kind of done with the whole scene of anime. Like, it's cool, and if people enjoy it, good for them. It's just it's not my thing anymore.
Well, I'm not giving up on anime entirely. I probably, you know, picked the wrong words. More like I'm just gonna be focusing less on it. I'm still gonna be watching shows because there are
Yeah,
series I'm still committed to. But I guess I'm only gonna be watching them and not, trying out new series for the time being.
yeah. I meant like,
Because, yeah,
no,
what was that?
I was gonna say I meant not like the whole completely stopping cold turkey, but I meant like a gradual like stepping away, kind of like I'm gonna watch these series and be done, and after that, it's gonna need some hard convincing to get me to watch anything else.
I think that's, the good way to describe where I am right now,
Yep,
or just somewhere in that ballpark.
definitely. But that's not the only thing that's changed, right? Like I'm not sure about you, but my music taste has had a dramatic change when I was a kid and teenager. Not sure about you. Has yours stayed the
As
same,
when I
or
was younger, well, no, it's definitely changed. So, like now, I listen to Japanese music, kind of like punk music, and whatever just floats my boat, So, like, whatever music is trending, I'll listen to it. Back in high
fair?
school and when I was younger, I would listen more to like rap, hip hop, stuff like that. So my taste has changed.
Really?
Oh, and I love listening to soundtracks
Oh
from
yeah.
video games too.
I never took you as a rap person, even in high school.
Oh, I listened to it. It was just not often because I wasn't really big into music back
Right.
then in high school. I would only listen to it when I would go out, for my jogs
Right. That's
or when I
fair.
was cleaning. But like now, I listen to music, of course, when I work out, when I'm cooking, when I'm cleaning. It just passes the time.
Right.
So because of that, I've branched out. Like, remember Vans Warped Tour?
Yeah. Oh, the
So right before they shut it down entirely, my friends invited me to one of their tours, and at that time I knew nothing of it. But it was like, you know what? I want to go out. I'm doing nothing, so I bought a ticket. I went with them. When I showed up, dude, I stood out, and like because I went in, I think blue jeans, a white shirt. Everybody was, either in black or they were wearing the T-shirts of their favorite bands, and I was like, I I did not come properly dressed for this, but dude, within 30 minutes, I was in love with that type of music. I Prevail was there, Attila, we came as Romans. It was an amazing experience, and since then, I'm still listening to that music. Like you introduced Ice Nine Kills to me.
I thought I was the one who introduced you to Ice Nine Kills.
That's what I said. You introduced me.
Oh, I thought you said our friend Punk. No, yeah,
No, no.
they're a pretty good band. But when I was a kid, you know what I used to listen to? I used to listen
What?
to primarily rap and one punk artist named Avril Lavigne, and that was it. It was just either Avril Lavigne or punk, or not punk, or rap. For some reason, as a kid and teen, I was like, "Yeah, this is the shit. This is what I'm only gonna listen to." Oh, and then like my friend was like, "Oh, did you hear about like dubstep?" I'm like, "What's dubstep?" This is, and I was in that phase where if they said it was stupid, I would agree with them. So they're like, "Oh yeah, dubstep's dumb." Like, "Oh yeah, that's dumb. What is that?" But like as I grew, I was like, dubstep's not bad. And then I branched to the other EDM genres, and then now EDM is one of my favorite genres to listen to. But also my punk listening has expanded dramatically. Like went from Avril Lavigne to like a bunch of others, like I Prevail, all those ones you mentioned, and then Ice Nine Kills. I mean, Ice Nine Kills has a weird thing where it's punk, it's also metal, so it's just this weird in between. But now I just listen to like those super heavy metals punk bands, and I love them. And then I'll hit also just throw in some EDM. music in there, and it's just like that's my go-to now. That being said, if a rap song is good, I'm gonna listen to it. If a I don't know, other genre pop, I guess they're called, I would listen to it if it's cool. Like Ed Sheeran's got some cool songs. So it's less more about the genre, more about like does this song feel good to listen to? If it does, I'll listen to it. Why not? Versus when I was a kid, it's like, what's the popular opinion of this genre? Wow, I'm not gonna listen to that genre.
Yeah,
I
and I'll be
was
honest, I'll listen to Dojo Cat.
She has some good songs.
Yeah, mainly because they're always playing her music at the clubs.
Yeah, she's
And
very a club
once if
person.
everyone's dancing, I'm like, all right, let me get in on this.
You can
Bust out my
dance?
moves. No,
Okay.
no, but it's that liquor courage changes everything. And whenever I go to the
Yeah.
clubs with my friends and coworkers, everybody's drinking, everybody's dancing. So I don't want to be that one weird loner back at that table, just standing around.
I
So I'm like,
mean,
you know what? Let me throw my head into the fray. And
I guess, dude. Even if I was drunk, I would have to be so far gone to convince me to dance. That's how bad I know I'm a dancer that I just don't do it. Even if I'm drunk, you would have to get me super wasted to get me to do that. Because it's like that one thing, even though if I'm drunk and I have no sense of consciousness, it feels like my body will automatically be like, dancing? No way, not gonna happen. It's like ingrained in me. Oh, let's
I
see.
like dancing,
I
or
mean,
I'm comfortable with it because often, like at the family gatherings, my grandmas want me to dance with them.
right.
So, I'll go and do my thing, even though I have no skill at all. It's just living in the moment.
I
Is
guess
I guess that's the best way for me to describe it.
you would also have to have just don't think about how embarrassing you might look, basically.
Yeah, because one thing I realize is a lot of people don't know how to dance too. I
Uh,
notice at the family gatherings, at the clubs, it's just people just want to enjoy themselves. They don't care how they look. So, why should I? So, if I
Fair.
look stupid, I don't care. I'm here enjoying myself. I'm not here to satisfy y'all.
That's fair, I guess. But speaking of satisfying others, how do you feel? Weird transition. How do you feel about as you grew up and you hit this 25 age range? How has your stance on dating, marriage, and eventually having a family changed?
Entirely. A complete, what is it, 180,
Yeah,
as you could
180.
say. Yeah, so for the longest, or for my teenage years and early 20s, the dating scene was not my thing at all. I just didn't want it. For a period of time, I was just content with being in the military, doing my own thing, maybe retiring, and just buying a house for myself, and maybe with a cat and a dog. But as I got older and I became more social, somewhat, I started wanting more in life. I just didn't want the solo life. Don't get me wrong, it's cool, but I guess for me, it just wasn't what I wanted in life. So gradually, I wanted to start dating, and I did. I joined that Boo dating app, and that's actually how I met my current girlfriend. Things are going nice. Anyways, I now I at some point in my life I want a house, but with a family, kids, pets. I I just want to build a life with someone. I don't know if that's cheesy, but
Uh,
that's what I want to gain in life.
I mean, fair. I think mine has been the exact opposite of yours. Ever since I was, I guess, younger, from like teen, I guess, to like relatively recently, it was just like, oh, I want to date someone because I want someone to, as cheesy as it is gonna sound, don't worry, I'll do something cheesy as well. Where it says like, oh, I want to find someone who, quote unquote, completes you. Ugh, disgusting. Who, like, you can find someone to vibe with and like it feels like everything's okay with them, right? That
Yes.
it was my thing I wanted, and that's the thing I was like really striving for. And I guess in turn was the source of my disappointment in life when it never happened, surprising no one. But it never happened. And I guess because of that, and I found a new thing to find more enjoyment out of, which is this my YouTube channel, potentially streaming in the future, who knows? But I want this to really work, so that's where my mindset is and focus is on. Is this? This is what I want in my life. This is what I need to do, versus oh, I want to date someone, and that dating will eventually turn into marriage with this person, or even then raise a family. But now I'm like, no, this comes first. I don't care about anyone else. This is my most important thing ever. And marriage is I mean, not to hate on anyone, but marriage is stupid. It's literally just a legal contract. It's pretty stupid. And having a family is pretty dumb because I know my genetic genes and I know how bad they are. So I'm like, why would I want to bring someone else into this world who's going to have the same problems as I did? That's kind of selfish to me to think about. Like, oh, I don't care that I'm potentially tossing a coin, say, is this kid going to have a messed up life? Let's find out. Instead, I was like, I'm not going to take the gamble. Why would I? Why would I subject another human being to that?
Yeah, man. To each their own. Like like I said, everyone has their own you know dream of what they want to accomplish. Whether it's having a family, focusing on their career, being solo. It's not everyone has the same picture for their future, which I like. Because that means you know we're not all the same. We're not all drones that just want the exact same thing. Everybody has a different path in life. Everybody has different dreams, goals. So, I respect that.
Yeah,
As
and
long as people know what they want in life and it's what they want entirely for themselves rather than what others are pushing onto them, go for it.
yeah, and like I'm not hating on anyone who wants to get married or dating, but it's kind of like I know that this can sound really like defeatism, whereas I'm like, oh, it didn't work out for me before, so I'm just gonna drop it. But no, it's like it could happen in the future. I'm not gonna say no to it in the future, but I have a more pressing matter to work on, which is this, my career. I guess you can call it, even though people don't want to call it a career. It's what I want to do in life, and it's what I'm gonna die trying to do in life. So that being said, I'm not gonna have time for a lot of other people, so it doesn't feel right to date, I guess. As cheesy and corny as that sounds, it's just not my thing anymore. I'm too focused on something else. And I don't want to be the
Exactly.
type
And
of
that's
person who's like, oh, I'm in a relationship with someone, but I don't spend nearly enough time with them and then make them feel like shit because of it. That's just not me. And if that person is
I see
you,
what you mean.
that's kind of messed up.
Yeah, so and tracking back to what you said about making this channel your career, I would say as a kid or when I was younger, seeing people that made this into a career, I never really understood their whole reasoning why they want to do it. It was just something I never understood. But now that I'm older, and we live in an age of social media. We just can't function without it. There's Discord, Instagram, what Twitch, and people have made a lot of money on these platforms, and to the point where I consider it now a career. Because it is, it's a job. A lot of people put a lot of time and effort into making these videos, from recording to editing to getting their name out there, and I respect them because it's their passion. That's what people should be going for, their passion, making it into a career, not just, you know, doing what everybody else does,
Right.
working the 9 to 5 job,
I mean,
probably not really enjoying yourselves.
yeah. And
Not
like,
throwing shade on that, but
sounds like
it's
you are.
that's not. Yeah, it's not what I want for myself.
Yeah.
Working a 9 to 5. I want to own my own business one day because this that's just what I want in life, and I'll get there one way or another.
Yeah, exactly. But for me though, I think the thing was I was introduced to YouTube like back in the early times where YouTube was its own company and like people were just doing it because for fun and it was not a like for sure thing. Just seeing those people do that, even though it wasn't a for sure thing, was like, oh, I want to do that too because like people are putting in their time and effort and being as creative as possible with almost no boundaries, and I'm like, that sounds awesome. I want to do that. And I could have started earlier, sure, but I'm doing it now, and I am excited for the journey that it will take. And it is something I've been wanting to do since I was a kid. and I'm taking a genuine swing at it before. Not like before where you can see some of my failed attempts on my channel where I was an editor doing League of Legends gameplay like all the other ones, right? I'm kind of thinking I just want to make those videos private because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I don't want to see these anymore because it's
Yeah,
kind of
and
cringe. Not gonna lie.
well, I wouldn't say it's cringe. It's just, that's what you want in life, and there's nothing wrong with it too. It's like I had that small phase too where I wanted to become YouTube famous, so I got into that unboxing sports cards craze a few years ago. Never really
Yeah.
took off for me, especially since, I was never really into sports. I just liked finding the cards that had like the jerseys or the signatures on them. But it's the way streaming, podcasting, video game channels, it's no longer a hobby, like we agreed on. It's a career. A lot of these people that do this, they've become brands themselves. They've founded, their own business, you can say,
Right.
making their money, giving, jobs to other people, which is cool, because times are always changing. So, the mindset of people, the generations is different from one another. Like our way of thinking is different from our parents' way of thinking,
Oh,
and
100%.
the next generation's way of thinking is going to be completely different from ours. Because
Oh, it definitely
you
is.
know, yeah, times change.
It does. But I'm glad that, like, even though times changed, YouTube and streaming is still somewhat viable. Like, it's still kind of luck based, but, like, it's still a path you can take. It's not an easy one, but it's definitely something you can take. And which I'm
Right?
glad for, because if I didn't, I would have no idea what I want to do, to be honest.
Yeah,
But on a less philosophical internal look route, how about our clothing sense? Let's bring it back to the something else that isn't, uh super in-depth look into our own psyche, huh?
yeah. We kind of went deep there for a moment.
Yeah. But for clothing sense, I think I wear the same things. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have and have always wore only black clothing because I like black clothing. It looks nice. You can wear it with almost anything. So I just have like black jackets, black shirts, black pants, black shoes. I even have black socks because black is just cool to me. I even have I'm staring at my own black leather jacket, which is right next to my black felt trench coat.
Everyone has their own sense of fashion.
I
Nothing wrong with that.
But the thing is, like, I want some more color. I have branched out now where I have a single shirt of purple, and I'm starting to want more purple clothing and put that in my own style because I like purple. Purple is cool, and purple goes with black because black goes with everything. So it's easy to
Yes.
integrate it. But how about your clothing sense? Has it changed at all, or
Another 180. Let's just go
oh,
with that.
how so?
As back in high school, I was, the same as you, black jeans, black flannels, black sweaters. Sometimes I would branch out and wear, some blue, some red, but now it's no longer that.
Right,
I still, don't get me wrong, I still wear, black jeans or sweaters, especially if I go out last minute. It's really convenient, but now I'm experimenting, like say with my shoes. Before I was the type of guy I only had or I would only wear one or two pairs of shoes, which were pretty much either black or red shoes. My parents would always buy me shoes, but I never wore them because I just wasn't really into fashion. But now that I'm mixing and matching,
right.
buying different shoes. Like I'm buying white shoes, buying black shoes, red shoes, like shoes from Nike, some Jordans, and then now like with my sweaters, same thing. I would always buy black sweaters as a kid, sometimes some gray ones. But now
Nice.
I'm buying them with designs, different colors, especially colors that'll match with my shoes. Same with the jeans, black jeans.
Right.
Now I'm buying, baby blue jeans or just blue jeans. I'm trying to buy khakis, shorts. I'm just I'm not really good with fashion, but I like that how you can experiment with it. Seeing does this match with that? Can
Right.
Is this good for this type of weather? And so, especially here in Korea, the fashion industry it's really big. A lot of
Yeah,
people here in Korea know fashion, so seeing that makes me want to up my fashion game too.
that's good to hear. And speaking of your old fashioned, it became almost like I literally can picture your like signature outfit of like jeans with like regular shoes and a red flannel on. That was just your style. That was your thing to do, you know?
You're wrong. I still wear flannels,
Oh
but
yeah,
it's just now like
not
I
all
want to
the
have a
time.
variety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of disastrous fashion sense, the one time I branched away from all black was okay. So for a theater thing, I needed to portray this band, which I'm going to show you later. It's called Sabaton, and they are all about military-esque looking things, right? So I was like, how am I going to replicate that? Oh, I know. I'm going to go to Walmart and I'm going to buy camo cargo pants. Those that specific green camo, you see that on things that are like, wow, why is that camo? That's kind of stupid, especially from your sense, right? Because you're in the military, so seeing people with those on is probably stupid, I guess.
I
But
can understand that type of fashion. It
yeah,
it just doesn't click with me.
I no, I bet. But I had, those green camo cargo pants. And I was like, yeah, these are cool. These are kind of badass. But you know what would make it better? Oh, wait, no, I forgot the most important part. Along with those pants, I was like, well, I also need this for my costume, but I'm also going to wear it because I bought it. Was those really big black aviator sunglasses
Oh my god.
that the type of vibe you're getting with someone who's wearing those camel pants and those glasses, right? But I was like, oh,
Yeah.
you know what would look really really good with these ones? Fucking urban combat boots. So I have I still have a pair of those black urban combat boots that go up to my shin because that's what they are. And so for a good while, I was walking around with those black urban combat boots with my green camo cargo pants tucked into it with a black leather jacket and a white t-shirt underneath with my fucking black aviator sunglasses.
We have now entered the danger zone.
Ah, it was so stupid. And also, to make it even better, for some reason I decided, what would look really good? What type of hairstyle would look good with this? A greaser haircut. So I rocked a greaser haircut for like a year.
I remember that.
Ah, that was something else when I just rocked that entire outfit of just cringe. Because here's the good part. Here's the thing. I wear glasses. I need really strong glasses. So when I wore the sunglasses, I was completely blind. I didn't know where I was
Oh,
walking.
you
But
looked intimidating, but you had no idea where you were going.
I wouldn't call it intimidating. I definitely wouldn't call it intimidating. But yeah, I would wear that, and it's so stupid. I don't know what happened with those pants. I think I threw it away, but I still have. And then the sunglasses, they broke, so I threw it away. I still have my jacket, which I love, and I still have my boots, which I don't have a reason to wear, but I have them because they're a reminder of when I thought this was a good idea. But
Uh,
luckily, now I don't do that. I just wear black everything and a jacket. Or if it's hot, which in California right now it's gonna be, I just wear, basketball shorts and a tank top because it's summer weather. And that's the exact same outfit I'm probably wearing to San Diego because it's gonna be kind of warm there.
I say, man, enjoy your time in San Diego.
Definitely. I'll talk more about it when I get back on our next episode. Well, not our next episode,
Light
but
it
the
up.
episode after I get back from San Diego.
Yeah, light it up, as they say.
Don't say that. I don't
I
think
don't know.
that's
I don't know if that's a saying anymore,
no,
but
it's
I don't
not.
know what the kids say nowadays.
That made you sound so much older. just being like what the kids say.
What the whippersnappers
Yeah.
call it
Oh,
nowadays.
hey, do you want to know an
The young
even
bloods.
the young bloods? Do you want to know an even more embarrassing thing I added on to that ensemble for a character? Luckily, it wasn't my own thing. It was because we were doing some sort of thing, like a show, so I needed to step up this character to 11. You know, I added
What you
fake
had?
tattoo sleeves.
Oh my
They were
goodness.
literal sleeves you could wear like an you know, in like wrestling, Jeff Hardy, you know, he had those like arm things that had, you know, tears, and you could see like what's the word I'm looking for, patterns on it.
Yes.
I had those, but they were tribal tattoos.
Okay now.
And because, like, to be fair, this is not something I would go out and wear even back then. It was just like, hey, we need this character to be over the top. I'm like, you got it, I got it. I showed up in there like, wow, that is not what I expected, but it works amazingly. I mean, I know, right? I look like a douchebag. The only thing that can complete this more is if I had a shark tooth necklace.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't do it because, one, those are kind of expensive, and two, I didn't want to be stuck around with that because I didn't want to wear that in the first place.
Now that I think about it, I had a weird fashion craze too.
Which
It
was,
for a while, I think it was in like senior year of high or the later part of senior year and like early months of me being out of high school was I would always wear jerseys. Like
oh, I think I
even though I
remember
wasn't
that.
really into sports, I my dad, he would always take me to like, basketball or baseball games and he would get me jerseys. And after a while I was like, you know what, this is more convenient for me. So I would wear them every time I would go out, especially this like Cubs jersey, because that's my baseball team more or less. I would always wear it. But the thing is, it was too like way too big for me. I think it was like two sizes too big. I think it was like an XL.
Oof.
And so it was really baggy, but I liked it. I felt like it worked for me, but when I looked back at old photos of me wearing it, I'm like, holy Jesus, what was I thinking?
Wait, was it a blue and
This,
white one?
no, so, it was a Cubs jersey, so red, white, and blue.
Right. But I also
I wore it a
remember
few times.
you having a really big blue and white one for a while.
Oh, that was my Dodgers jersey.
Yeah,
That
that
one
one.
was like a slim fit. That one, it no longer fits me because I have a paunch now, thanks, thanks beer and alcohol
Yeah,
and
I
fast food.
could
But
have told you that.
but but yeah, that's a thing of the past now. However,
Oh no.
my unit here in Korea, they have a tradition of giving jerseys to everyone
Oh
with
no.
a nickname. So, but it's for like it's a career jersey. So, it has my number 86, reference to an anime. I'll let you guys figure that out. And guess what my nickname is?
I never would have guessed. Munez. I don't know.
Charmander.
Why Charmander?
It's so ridiculous. Apparently, the first time, I went out drinking with my coworkers, I bought a stuffed Charmander toy.
Why?
And I don't know, dude. It was just spur of the moment.
Were you
But
drunk?
I bought it. Yes.
Okay. That makes that's fine. All right.
And then, that entire night, I just had him right there, holding on to him for dear life. And since then, people just started calling me Charmander, and now it's on my, jersey. But anyways, the jersey they gave me, it says like it's black and red with a little bit of white. It has my, career, you know, I guess name POL on it, and it says Ulsan Air Base. It's really cool. I like it. The cool thing is we can wear it on Fridays at work. It's considered a uniform,
Oh
apparently.
wow.
So imagine me driving on the flight line in blue jeans and a jersey. It throws off the
Business casual.
pilots from yeah. It throws off the pilots from other bases that come just for fuel. They're like they see me step out of a government vehicle and they see me wearing blue jeans and a jersey. They're like, huh.
And then you
I
turn
can see
around
them staring at me. Yeah.
and just read Charmander.
Yeah. And they're like, oh my god, this guy. This weeb over here.
I don't want to call that weeb, but just more like wow. Now that's I can imagine just someone flying in from like I don't know America who's been forced like this is your dress code, right? You fly in, the first person to see when you go in to get your jet refueled is just some dude with jeans and a jersey. You're like, wow, that's kind of weird. He turns around to get I don't know the refuel, whatever. You just read Charmander. He's like, where am I? What is this? Did I land in an
Like,
official military base? What is this?
yeah, and it's cool because a lot of the other units too here on base, they wear their own jerseys too, and they all have different designs on them. But like I said, when people from other bases overseas come over here to Korea, and it just throws them off. Like we can see the looks on their faces. They're just trying to figure out why, like, are these people working on a flight line in, you know, casual clothes?
Right.
But it boosts morale and it's cool and it's starting to spark my interest again in jerseys,
Oh
which I don't know
boy.
if it's a good or bad thing. But
It's depend as long as you are as long as you're not one of those people who get drunk, like really drunk in those jerseys and start fights, you should be fine.
oh no, I don't wear this jersey for, nights out with the boys.
Right. But
Yeah, I just wear it for, you know, it's only for business.
I don't
it's
a jersey that says
it's
Charmander only for business. All right. Okay.
hey, it's only for when I'm pumping gas.
I don't. Yeah, also, Charmander's a fire type Pokemon. You don't want a fire type in your gasoline.
Yeah, the irony in that too.
You don't. That's so wild. But hey, last topic is how our feelings of tattoos and piercings, right? Because I remember when we were talking just by ourselves, you used to mention that you couldn't understand, or at least for you, the need to have a piercing, right?
Yeah, I'm not really big into piercings. For some people, they can rock that look, don't get me wrong, but for me, I just can't, especially for my time in the military, they're not really a thing.
Right. What about
So,
tattoos?
tattoos as for part of me does want to get a tattoo just of my rank when I get out of the military. So
Okay,
like
I
if I
see.
get out, a few years and I'm an E4, I just kind of want to, you know, get an E4 tattoo with, who the hell POL. That's my career field's motto, you could say. That
Right.
at most, that's the only tattoo that I want.
I definitely want
If I do
tattoos.
get it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What was that?
Oh, I was gonna say if I do get it, I just want it on my right arm.
Yeah, that's fair. Right arm. I think for me that would be my left arm because then I won't have to deal with the pain in my right arm because it's my dominant arm, so I can just put it on my non-dominant arm and be fine. But
You gotta alternate, dude.
yeah, that's true. But with piercings and tattoos, because I was born and raised in a somewhat conservative area, I thought tattoos and piercings were kind of well, piercings on dudes were kind of like weird because like I was born in that time period in that area where that's not a thing. And I was like, wow, that's kind of weird. But since I saw some punk stuff, I was okay with tattoos, and I thought they were kind of cool. Even though my mom said tattoos are only for convicts, her exact words. But as I grew older and I got more independent, I'm like, you know what? I want a tattoo. I don't have one yet, but I want a whole sleeve on my left arm. Just not yet because I don't have the time, money, or pain tolerance for that. But I can tell you, I have piercings, and they are my favorite piercings. Like, well, obviously, but I'm not sure. When you went to visit on your leave one time, did I have a piercing?
No, no, not that I recall.
Okay, because I have three now. I have
Nani?
I have one in my earlobe on my left earlobe. That's just kind of there. For right now, it's a skull, silver, steel, stainless steel, silver skull in my left earlobe. It's a stud because all my piercings are studs. And then I have two on my like kind of like my outer ear. It's called a double helix piercing. It's like that cartilage in your ear, and I have two like long-ish rods through it, and it ends in two studs. If anyone's watching the podcast, just kind of Google double helix piercing, and that's what I have. And I basically have three piercings now, and I want to force one because I want a nose stud in my left nostril at some point. And then probably leave my third one alone because I only want it on one side.
I
But
see. You should send me a picture of how you look.
I thought I did. Also, wow, that's kind of creepy to say on the podcast.
Send a pic. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh God! But
send
I thought
send an ear. I mean, what is it called? No,
what?
I can't think of a good name for it.
Oh, an ear
I'll
pick.
just say send me an ear piercing. Yeah, an ear
An
piercing
ear pick.
pic. I don't know.
Here's the thing. I posted my Instagram. That means you don't follow my Instagram if you haven't seen it.
Hold up, let me check.
Well, it's not there
Because I have
anymore
you on
because
Instagram.
it was a story, so you're probably not gonna see it anymore. But
Oh, okay.
I definitely had it, and let me tell you, that was the most intense pain I've ever felt getting my double helix piercing. That burned and hurt so much. Not to dissuade anyone from getting a double helix, because they're really cool. Just know what you're going into, because that shit hurts. Like, especially because it was done by hand, and it was terrifying. Because the guy was like, "All right, are you ready?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, sure." I could feel his body tense up as he was trying to force the needle through my ear,
Yikes.
and it
Can only
wasn't
imagine the type of
since
pain you went through.
dude. Apparently, my cousins. Oh yeah, because I did this in the Philippines, and I was with my cousins. They said they said I was so hyped and ready for it, but as soon as he started putting the needle through my ear, I like looked like I zoned out. Like my body, I almost like I zoned out my body completely because of how much pain I was in. Because that was the most painful thing ever. And the thing was, after it was done, I was like, "Oh wow, that hurt." And I was like, "All right, here's the second one." I'm like, "Oh, that's right. I said double helix, didn't I?" So I felt it again, just went right through. And then even after like an hour after the piercing, my ear felt like it was on fire for like the next day because of like the pain of just having this needle push through your ear. But right now, it doesn't hurt actually at all. But it looks pretty cool. I can send a picture maybe tomorrow because it's getting dark out. I can have some good lighting with that.
That's right. Yeah, you're like 16 hours behind me.
It is
It's
6:30,
yeah, it's what is it?
like
It
11,
is
10.
10:33 a.m.
Yeah,
It's Saturday.
yeah,
It's
that's
my weekend. My grocery shopping day.
yeah, and also your podcasting and recording days because I snagged all
Yep.
your free days for our recordings.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, that's just my thing. And like as a kid, I didn't want tattoos though at first because my sister, I saw her get a foot tattoo and she was like crying in pictures because of how bad it was. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. There's not a lot of skin on your foot, really. It's just bone. So they're tattooing your bone basically. But then
Ew.
for me, I'm like, I still want a full sleeve though. Like, I want it to contain everything I want. Like, like the Star Wars mythosaur from the Mandalorian look on it. I want like a bunch of different things. And I also thought about the idea if I made it big enough on YouTube, I didn't need another job. I would definitely get a hand tattoo then, because then I can just rock the hand tattoo whenever I want. Because let me tell you, if you have
These
a
are
hand
pretty good
tattoo,
designs.
yeah, if you have a hand tattoo, you're never gonna get a normal job. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But what I want is I want this like hand tattoo where it's like a skull smile, so you can kind of put your hand in front of your like mouth and it looks like a skull smile. Okay, the more I sound,
That's pretty
all right.
cool.
So the skull smile, the fucking black clothes and leather jacket, it makes me sound super edgy, and I guess I am, but it doesn't come off my personality because like my personality is usually like shy or like a really loud, obnoxious, and partier dude, like a partier person. But like my fucking fashion sense and like tattoo sense is like straight up like edgy. But I'm not like one of those
That's one look
like
you want to go for.
yeah, it's I because I think it looks cool as long as you're not like, oh, I'm so cool or badass for the world. I'm like, wow, that's stupid as hell. Yeah, it's just for me, I just like the aesthetic. The aesthetic's cool,
It's
and
not for me right now.
I mean, I
Just
would assume so.
yeah.
For
Maybe when I'm out.
yeah, maybe for me though, I like black clothing, tattoos, piercings, my type of thing. I even thought about the idea of getting a tongue piercing, but I'm not sure if I want one because and not for the reason you think. I don't want a tongue piercing because then I'm gonna constantly feel the stud piercing on my teeth, and I feel that's gonna drive me insane. Because
How
like some of
people can,
hmm,
eat with that, like eat with that in
they
the
can.
tongue piercing. I don't know how.
I don't know either. It's just, but for me, my biggest obstacle is just having that constantly knock around your teeth, and I'm like, that must feel weird to have something in your mouth constantly bang against your teeth. But I also don't want to get a nose ring because I don't like the idea of that. I'll get a nose stud at any point, just not a ring because I couldn't not deal with a nose ring. But that's but hey man, if you ever want to get like a tattoo or piercing and you're not in the military and you can find where I live because I'm probably moving, hit me up and I'll totally be there to see your reaction to how bad a piercing can hurt.
You'll be my support.
Yeah,
You'll hold me down as I try to escape.
I'll be
He's
the
like, no, man, you committed.
yeah, I'll be the one who's saying over like, "Don't worry, man, you got this." So I'm like holding onto your hand, like, "Come on, man, you got this. You can pull through." It's like, it's like, "Don't
You
worry,
can
man."
do it.
But don't worry. After this, we'll get
I'm
the
here for you.
tourniquet on the fucking ear. But
Don't cry on me now, man.
yeah, come on, we have to get it through. We have to get it back to the base. I don't know. I'm saying some weird military jargon, but don't let that dissuade you on getting a piercing though, because it hurts. It's very painful, but it's only for a short while. It's a moment of pain for a cool aesthetic that's permanent, unless you don't wear the or the earring constantly. Because if you don't, it will close, and then at that point, you just wasted time and money.
See. Well, like I said, I really can't get any of that right now.
Yet, yeah.
But when I'm out, I definitely may want to get a tattoo. It depends. It's still up in the air.
Well,
But as this whole podcast is talking about, things change in a matter of years,
yeah.
or as time goes on.
Yeah, we could do this if we're still doing this into our 50s. We could talk about like how it's changed. You have like a full body tattoo now. Who knows? I mean, would I get one? Probably not, but I'll get one on my back, like a whole portrait on my back for a reason, just not right now.
You need
But
the inspiration. You
yeah,
need the image.
exactly. But it kind of just comes down to like, hey, things change, we grow up, right? And the thing is like we make a big deal about turning 25, 30, hell, maybe even 50 in the future, but like as long as you are like mentally sound and you can still desire and have a drive for it, it doesn't matter how old you are, right?
Exactly.
As long as you have the willpower to do it, you can do it. Like, am I starting the YouTube game late? Oh, definitely. Am I still gonna do it until my like 60s? If I can, 100%. I'll do it until my deathbed, whatever that is. Hopefully not soon. Who knows? But that's something I'm still gonna do, and that doesn't matter if like, oh, you're still doing this when you're 30. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this when I'm 30. Do you know like some of the big groups on YouTube are doing it, and they're like 40, 50, and they're still going with no plans of stopping. So why should I? And
As the saying goes, it's never too late.
yeah, and like you can use it for anything. You want to be you want to be like a guitarist or a drummer in a band, but you're like 30. Fuck it, go for it. Who's saying you can't? Or you're saying, or let me rephrase that. Uh, People might say you can't, but what only matters is you. If you want to say you want to be a guitarist at 30, fucking go for it. If it's your dream, chase after it. Don't let it die.
Yeah,
That's like the stupidest thing ever. Is to let your dreams die.
exactly. The last thing I want for anyone is, them being on their deathbed and living with regret. Like them thinking like, man, I wish I did that when I had the time and energy. So, all I say is to anyone, whenever people are telling me what they want in life, dreams, goals, or just, the path they're walking on, just go for it. Don't listen to what people say. Live in the moment, achieve what you want to do. Don't live with regrets
Right.
because we only have so much time on this earth. So don't let other people discourage you. You are your own biggest ally or your own biggest motivator. I can't find the right word for it.
Yeah, motivator. But definitely, don't just like give up. Like say, oh, it's too late. It's not too late. And even like, all right, worst case scenario, right? You're on your deathbed. At least on your deathbed, you can think, hey, I tried for that. I took the steps to that. I at least know I made the steps to try to get my dream. Versus the, "Oh, I never took a step toward my dream." That's probably the worst thing to feel, is, like, knowing you never took the leap, you never took the chance, and
Exactly.
like, you might as well try. If it doesn't work out in the end, it didn't work out in the end, so what? At least you tried, at least you made the effort, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that's I guess that's just our message for the end of the day is, like, no matter how old you are, no matter what changes, you as long as you can have the drive for it and you go towards your dreams, then why should you stop at whatever age, right?
Hmm. Couldn't agree more.